Taranui, you up yet, Graham and Lynn? Yeah, good morning, Graham. Just a quick question from your son. He's got obviously the B&G network data. Is this all you want? And he wants to know, how about the spare depth and wind direction screens? Over.
Oh, that's a good question, because they're all working okay, but I guess, yeah, what brings them on up is what you put before.
I thought you might say that. Alrighty, we'll pass that on. And yes, his radio, I suspect you're going to have a job when they get there, because he's going to do the installation when he gets to Tonga. So you might want to make yourself scarce, Graham. Over.
Roger that, yeah. Oh, I thought you're probably rushed at what it is, but he's looking at leaving Monday, over.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't say that. It was on a text, so we'll find out later. What is the weather like in North Minerva? I can't see under the muck on the satellite picture. Doesn't exactly look like a sunny day. Over.
Really grey, heavy clouds, very light snowy, or light snowy, but at the moment it's quite nice. So that's nice. There was something on that reef, but it sounded really close. Over.
Yeah, it's quite spectacular, isn't it? So, oh well, good place to hang out for a little bit. It's, well, I better say good morning to everybody that has joined us, seeing as it's about that time. Good morning, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, as usual at this time, 1915, well, actually it's 1914, according to my iPad. It is a brisk morning here at Gulf Harbour, and it's even brisker further north by the look of the Met Service reports. We have 11 degrees here at the moment. It's 9.6 in Whangarei, and a heat wave are moaning about the cold up there in Opua. So I suspect it's going to be a morning where people snuggle up for a while, although there was one boat here that's on its way to Anisham today. Actually, I keep forgetting to remind you folks that if you are going to Tanna, to bring kitchen stuff for the new little restaurant that's trying to get established there. If you're going to Vanuatu and you're going to pop in at Tanna, then whatever spare kitchen stuff you've got, pots and pans and plates, pop them on board. Alrighty, we have a very casual morning this morning. Saturday morning is a morning where we like to hear from you guys. If you have anything, I know there are a lot of people going to get ready to go. So let's just see the boats that are on passage first of all. Oh, we heard from 2C2 for those people that know Mike and Helen. They are enjoying themselves, and today they are on their way to Rangiroa from Tahiti. So they'll be enjoying that. Okay, let's go to Flying Cloud, Gulf Harbour. Ooh, stand by, Walter. I'm going to need some help. Just make sure you're on high power there on the radio, and let me just check with my relay stage. Graham, are you able to copy for me this time around? Over. Okay, we've got a couple there. Thanks, and good morning, Ron. Flying Cloud. Go ahead with or the whole report, and we'll fill it in at the end. Go ahead, Walter. Gee, not very good. Have you turned everything off? I've got a whistle. Yeah. All right, right. I didn't get any of that really. I've got a whistle, and usually Saturday mornings are pretty good, but I guess the temperature being as it is, people are using a lot of power. Graham, you go ahead, and I think that Ron might be able to fill anything you missed. Go ahead, Toranui. Okay, let's go to Pilgrim. Pilgrim, tell me what you can, please, Ron. Oh, perfect copy from you. Good morning to you both. All right, Flying Cloud. This is mainly for David's benefit. 2816 and 15904 West. We'll make that. I don't know why I keep writing down East. West. 036 Magnetic. No speed at the stage. 13 from the east, southeast. And David is looking at that with a bit of puzzlement. 100% cloud cover. Could you just get the speed for me, please, Ron? Over.
Flying south, flying cloud. Get me central speed, please.
Oh, that's the wind speed.
13 knots. Is that a locker?
Flying Cloud, I need your boat speed, not the wind speed. Over. Sorry, you doubled, Walter. Go ahead again. 8 knots. Good, got it. Thank you very much. I bet you would like to be doing 13 knots boat speed, wouldn't we all? But we'll put you down for 8 knots. All right. Just see.
No, that conforms to
the
model.
David says it all conforms to the model, so that's good. And we'll check in with you again on Monday. So reasonable progress there from yesterday. In fact, very good progress from yesterday. So you're just doing that steady couple of degrees easting each day. All right, I presume all is well, otherwise you would tell us. So we'll clear with a Flying Cloud. I'll just give, there's absolutely no wind up in Fiji at the moment based on the reports that are coming in. Make use of the calm before the storm. Jan and Helena on Alcyon are 25 miles from Suva with absolutely flat calm weather. In fact, Fiji is about the only place in the South Pacific that doesn't have any problems at the moment. They've got a west-northwest 5, and we've got, who else was it, Anahata on the western side, with no wind going into dinner hour. So all is well with folks there. And we've got Anthea, who are at 1849 and 17739 with only 20% cloud cover and a very light variable sort of southeasty 5 knots-ish. So yeah, everything's pretty calm out there. Whistler have got it even calm up there in Savu, 20% cloud and a lovely balmy 26 degrees. The only one that's got any wind to work with is Margarita. And boy, another big mahi-mahi caught yesterday. Mahi-mahi are really getting a pounding out there in the ocean at the moment. Northeast they've got. They are at 27 and 16931 west. And they've got a northeast at 15 knots backing. So 80% cloud cover. It's not so great there, but still sailing along rather well, 6.5 knots. So let's look. I'll give a call for anybody shortly, and if you've got any other information or questions. David was really excited this morning because we got an email from Scoots who are looking at the upper levels. And funnily enough, it just came in when we had been looking at the weather around the June 9th time frame because he thinks he's going to be driving at Hampton Downs, and it did look quite disgusting. And then we get this wonderful email from Scoots who are analysing their upper levels. An absolutely brilliant job they did of it. So he was rather thrilled, and I think he we'll be talking about what's going on for the future in a few minutes. But let's just look at a bit of news from the world. A lot of you will probably be getting emails from various companies that you are involved with, because the European new data law, it's called the GDPR, came into effect across the EU on Friday. So this changes the way companies around the world collect and handle personal data. So they're all trying to assure us that they do this very legitimately. We're getting emails from all sorts of people on that subject. And here's a little bit of local news and a bit of explanation for those folk that aren't Kiwis. Our dairy herds are on the move at the moment, because in New Zealand a vast amount of the herds that are milked by share milkers, and these are people that have a herd but no land. So they go to various owners of farms, and they have what they call a share milking agreement, whereby they use the land, of course, and do the milking and share the returns, and the costs are apportioned in variously different ways. But at this time of the year in May, before things get started, which is the official start of the dairy season is June 1, they're all on the go, and so they move from one place to another, and that is quite concerning at the moment because of this disease called Mycoplasma bovis, because there are restrictions and record-keeping requirements for people that move cattle around from one place to another. So it's a big deal at the moment, but that's what's going on. If you were on the roads, you'd probably be caught behind huge, smelly trucks moving cows from one place to another. And here's one for the Wellingtonians. Wellington has topped the World Quality of Life rankings for a second year in a row. So, and David said, well, was this just for New Zealand? But it wasn't. It's the World Quality of Life rankings for a second year in a row. And they beat out Zurich, Copenhagen, Edinburgh, and Vienna, who were in the finals. You may wonder what they look at for this sort of ranking. Well, they look at purchasing power, safety, healthcare, cost of living, property prices, the ratio of property prices to income, the traffic commutes from various places, pollution, and the climate. So there you are. Despite the cooler, windier weather there, I can assure you that my favourite city in New Zealand is indeed Wellington, not because I was born and raised there, but it is a fantastic city.
How could they beat?
No, hang on, I'm not taking any comments.
How could they beat White's Los Angeles?
Yeah, right. Okay, so there you are. But of course, they don't look at the quality of life on board a sailing ship, which is absolutely tops anything that you might have on land, I can assure you. All right, but the big bombshell for us here in New Zealand overnight was the report from a congressional hearing in the United States that was told that one of the major fundraisers for Jacinda Ardern's Labour Party, and that's what we have in power at the moment, is linked to the Chinese Communist Party. So they are maintaining that this shows that China has penetrated New Zealand's political networks. And if you think it's only the Labour Party, last year we found that the National Party, who has a Chinese New Zealander, an MP, he used to work in China's intelligence service. So they have pretty much infiltrated all of the major political parties in New Zealand. So, they work the long run, don't they, the Chinese?
Long game.
The long game. That's the word, the long game. All right, is there anybody with any questions, comments, or whatever? Probably everybody's still in bed. Let's have a look at what the streaming people say. It's showers up there in Opua. Thank you, Willamette. Cold and light southwest, 100% with showers. Boy. But they still think that they're going to leave tomorrow. So we'll presume that will be the case. Whangarei, it's pretty chilly. 11 knots. Well, there's more wind further north than we've got here, although it is starting to clear a bit overhead, and the wind is a little bit higher than it was. And good morning up there to Wunda Marina. Good morning, Diego Marina. Scattered cirrus at high level. A lovely 25 degrees and a steady 1011 on the bar. All right, so we've got pretty nice weather unless you want it warm, which you wouldn't be in New Zealand if you did want it warm. And I'm just checking through Amazing Grace up there. Have got 100% cloud cover. This is at 2339178 west. They're at anchor there, so 5 to 6 knots of east southeast. So all is well there, and pretty much the same in Kindavu from Pilgrim, and a very good signal from you, Ron. So that was good. I'm going to pass the microphone now. It's a fairly free and easy morning, and you can have your questions after David's just given a brief update of the weather.
Yeah, good morning, and it will be pretty brief today. This is what our Saturdays will be from now on. So I'm just going to rely mostly on questions that you radio in or stream in, or whatever you call that when you stream in, and go from there. And then the complete reports will start again on Monday through Friday. Now we've got gale warnings. This is for the people that are still here in New Zealand, and you, I'm sure, know this. Gale warnings are raised for the Brett area, that obviously is Opua. So you could expect today southwest 30 to 40, and then finally easing a bit after lunch. They're calling up 25 knots. Tomorrow, the day that I think most of you are wanting to leave, we're looking at southwest 25 with a bit of an ease on Monday. Southerly's about 15, so a little bit better on Monday. So those of you that do go tomorrow will probably reach 30 south by Wednesday, give or take, and you could expect southerlies to about 20 knots at that point. So that's on Wednesday at 30 south, and more than likely there'll be some convective activity there at 30 south. So if you do leave on Monday, however, you'll get to 30 by Thursday, thereabouts, and at that point the wind does shift a little bit, 15 knots. So fairly light and a slightly different direction. Now things are not looking great at 25 south by early Friday, late Thursday into early Friday. We're going to have a cold front that's going to be approaching New Zealand, almost on New Zealand at that point, but not quite. But anyhow, it's going to be thrusting up a frontal band, reaching up to between Fiji and Vanuatu, and another branch of it will be affecting New Caledonia. But anyhow, what that's going to cause is a big push into the isobars of the high that's to the east. So that translates into northerly quadrant winds. So we'll be looking at northeast 15 to 20 knots between 30 and 25 south. And even as far north as, I would say, about 22, 23, you'll be seeing the isobars starting to twist the wind just a little bit. Now, those of you that are in, let's see, one other thing. We're looking at Saturday at 25 south. You'll see a nice shift on Saturday. That'll be southerlies, it looks like, as the frontal band that I just mentioned moves to the east. So that's sort of the difference between leaving on Sunday versus leaving on Monday. Now, those of you that are in Minerva, today you should see southwest 10 to maybe southwest 15. Now, the report that we got indicated southeast. I'm not picking that up on the model, and I'm not picking it up on the microwave satellite, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyhow, fairly light air, but you are on the edge of convective activity from a fairly active trough. If you were to look at satellite imagery, you would see it. and it's just about touching Minerva. So that could be the reason for the difference in what I'm looking at from the models and what you're looking at in real life. Obviously, in real life takes precedence. Now, by lunch on Sunday, a second trough, not this one, the second trough from Fiji is going to reach Minerva. And you'll have a southeast wind shift, and I think at least 20 knots. Now, the worst of the trough, and by the way, it may very well be a weak depression at that point. The models are still calling off closed isobars for the Fiji area at that time, and it moves to the southeast. But whether it's a trough or a depression, it's still going to bring poor weather to the Minerva area. And this is the worst of it's going to be Sunday night into early Monday morning. And your winds feeding this system are going to be southerly quadrant. So could be anywhere from south-southeast, south-southwest, but in that quadrant. And that'll be up to 25 knots and higher gusts in the squalls. It looks like there's a fair bit of cloud and rain in this system, so your boat should get a good wash off, but make sure you're well dug in. Now, the whole thing should be all gone in a day or so after that. By Tuesday, the ridge moves in, pushes that trough / front / depression east, so you'll have much better weather. There could be some scattered showers left over behind that, but it'll be much better. So you can take the day off if you want on Tuesday to dry off the boat, perhaps, although the scattered showers, like I said, may occur to spoil that. Now the winds should be south-southeast in the 15-knot range, and the winds will slowly back to easterlies if you decide to leave at that point on your way to Nuku'alofa or Tongatapu. And that'll be right through Thursday of next week. So starting Tuesday, if you want to leave, that's probably a time that you can do it. And you've got a couple of days at least or more to get up to the islands. And the wind should be in a reasonable direction to do that. But before that, I would suggest you think about staying well anchored in there at Minerva. Now, I was looking, Fiji Met has got some heavy swell warnings. They've had them up for a while, and I'm looking at the forecasting for the swell conditions. And on Sunday, they are 5 to 6 meters just to the south of Kundava. In fact, there's an area of 5 to 6 meters that goes from the southern Lao through Kundava west to about 170 east. And it's not a large area. On either side of this little oval area of high swell, we're looking at 4 meters. So any of you that are on passage to Fiji on Sunday, if you hadn't stopped at Minerva and decided to keep going, you're going to be going into some pretty bad weather and very high swell. And that is not going to be very nice at all. So be very careful about that. And what else could I tell you real briefly here? The main, regarding Fiji itself, the depression looks like it will form around midnight tomorrow, and it will be to the northwest of Viti Levu. But the main frontal band, if you will, or area, I'll rephrase that, the main area of convective activity will run from the banks toward Kundava, south to about 24 south, and reach as far east as 175 west. So it will involve Minerva and certainly Kundava and the southern parts of Viti Levu. Might affect Musket Cove, certainly cloud and rain, I think, in Musket Cove. Then the winds in Musket should be northeast, but the main wind is going to be in the south, to the south of all of this. So from Kundava south to 24 south, that's where most of the wind and rain is going to be. So that is midnight Sunday into Monday morning. The whole system is still there, but the main convective bands start to slide southeast. So by lunchtime on Monday, Kadavu is still going to be topping it a bit, as is most of Fiji actually will be under cloud, I think. And you've got quite a bit of a chance of showers. And you're going to have some wind shifts. Vanua Levu could have northwest winds, whereas Viti Levu could have southeast winds. So you can see the rotary action, perhaps, of what's happening there. Looking into Tuesday, like I said, the main troughing system moves to the east. It will probably affect Niue, but Tongatapu is going to be in the clear, I think. Vavau may still have remnants of convective activity, and that runs west to Fiji as well on Tuesday, but it's light. There's not much there. The winds are not very strong either. And then, like I said, those of you that are down in Minerva, it should be pretty nice. Although there is a band that goes through, a lot of bands in this, a lot of bands of cloud. And with the southerly winds on Tuesday morning, Minerva should be okay. And then on the way to Tongatapu, where I think most of you are going, like I said, the wind is going to back to the southeast. So that'll be very nice sailing, I think, to Tongatapu. Wednesday, as an example, it looks perfect. So that's all I'm going to do for today. But if you've got specific questions, come now.
Oh, there was a double up there. The one that said Gulf Harbour Radio. Could you come again?
Gulf Harbour Radio, Mr. White.
Oh, good morning, White. Go ahead. Where are you now?
Right now we're at 2818 178 37. 009, 5.5 knots. And yeah, everything ground cover, wind, lead, about 25 to 30 knots.
All right, we have Y in the middle of it. You were probably wondering why. Westerly 25 to 30, and that float is at 2818 and 17837 east. I'll pass the microphone to see what Chameleon might do in that situation.
Well, they're 171.
170 what he says? 17837 east.
All right. Well, looking at satellite imagery right now, you do have a frontal band that's going over you. It's quite broken. The main band is actually to your south. It's below 30. And then we've got the other band that's north of you there. But you are caught up in cyclonic circulation. So over New Zealand, we've got rotary winds, clockwise winds, and your actuals are in agreement with the modeling. And yes, there's a lot of wind. In fact, the models are calling 30 knots and higher gusts. So that's as we speak. Looking at, let's say tomorrow at this time, you'll be a little bit further north and you'll get some respite in terms of cloud. It should clear up a little bit. From what I can see here, you'll be, maybe 27, 26, 27, like that. So you should have southeast winds at that point because you have a ridge that's poking in to that area at that point. So you should have I wouldn't say excellent sailing conditions because the wind's going to be behind you. We tend to hate that. We have this EDW wind directly behind. Not much fun on our boat. But anyway, 15 knots and reasonable conditions. So that's what it's looking at tomorrow. So what are your plans? You're heading to Minerva, I think, or let us know. Over.
Yeah, Roger on. yeah, we'll head Minerva for a few days and get a few things sorted. And then on the TG after that, just over, probably get away, I don't know, looks like probably Wednesday or Thursday next week for Fiji.
Okay, and what's the ETA for Minerva? I missed that.
ETA Minerva at the moment is Monday morning.
Alrighty, you are going to be smack dab in the middle of this trough, and winds are going to be southeast. They don't look very strong, although these models will fool you because you look at areas of quite a bit of rainfall, and the models don't take into account the gusts that come from the higher wind. So we have a lot of wind from the northeast that's feeding that. You aren't going to have northeast, you'll have southeast. But if we get very large CVs, thunderstorms, we could easily get 35 knots of gusty winds. But the more critical thing is getting through the pass, having enough visibility to get into the pass. So with a little bit of luck, that troughing will move east and you'll be okay. But right now the models are looking like you'll be right on the edge of it, the southern edge of it, when you get there at Minerva. So I guess you're going to have to just play it by ear Monday morning. Over.
Yeah, Roger, yeah. But the engine's well charted and well GPS, so I can squeeze through the North Gap, no trouble at all. So thank you for your watch, and we'll give you a call tomorrow.
All right, you're welcome. If you slow down, you will avoid this, it looks like to me. I know yachts don't like to slow down, but most of the winds are going to be southerly quadrant, which if you're like us, like I said, that's a pain in the neck. So if you just sort of drop the sail area down, this is an idea now, not advice, then you should get to Minerva in nice visibility, and that system will have passed by. Now that's the Monday time frame, which is when you were thinking about arriving, but it's late Monday. This is more Monday midnight. So if we looked at Tuesday arrival instead of Monday arrival, I think you'd be happier. Over.
Thank you very much for that. We'll take your wisdom and see what happens.
Well, we always have a big discussion on that on board Chameleon because David will give his thoughts on that, and I just like to get there, despite what it is, to get out of it. But yeah, it's one of those things you want to beat up yourselves or the boat or take it a bit easier. Well, we'll leave you guys to cogitate. There was somebody in behind Y. Who was that? Oh, thank you. Yep. That was from Minerva. In fact, it looks like you better keep the VHFs on in Minerva because there might be the odd one coming through. Was there anybody else? All right, we're going to go back. Actually, the day here is cleared up a bit, and it might be not too bad rain-wise here. There's not an awful lot on the satellite picture coming our way, just sort of showers on and off. So it might be a decent day tomorrow. We're getting sick of our Sundays being affected by rain. The whole place is absolutely boggy, and if 2C2 are listening, there's no way that your lawns will be cut, so you might as well get used to the fact, in fact, probably order a baler in for the end of the year if it's going to keep like this. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll look forward to reading what people do on www.yit.nz, and we will be back again on Monday. Have a very good weekend. The frequency is all yours. Let me turn the streaming.